up, everybody? Welcome to Buckeye BS. We are here for a special interview edition with our guy from the South Florida Express, Coach Dirt. How you doing?
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you joining us. For those of you guys that don't know out there, the South Florida Express is one of the best 7-on-7 programs in the country. You may have heard that name or seen Coach Hartline in the SFE hoodies. Some notable Buckeye alums from the South Florida Express: Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate, Cedric Hawkins, and hopefully more Buckeyes in the future coming from that illustrious program. But I appreciate you joining us here today, Coach Dirt. I wanted to start off a little bit with your football background as a player before you even got into coaching. Tell me about a little bit about where you played at and how your career went.
First thing first, man. Thanks for having me. I could say a little just bit more about me. I had graduated from Miramar, but I also went to Miami Central as well. Class of 2013. I wasn't really highly recruited coming out of high school, so I had to go the JUCO route. I went to ASA College. I went to ASA College for almost a half a semester, almost like a year, or like a year and a half. Went to ASA College. After ASA College, I had walked on at UCF and then became Scarlet Athlete, and I finished off at UCF.
That's dope. What'd you major in there, and what position did you play?
DB, and I majored in criminal justice.
Nice. So then, did you know all during your playing days that coaching was something that you wanted to do after your career wrapped up, or is that something that happened after your career finished?
Nah, I ain't never wanted to get into coaching. I never even thought about coaching, at all. One of my good friends, Drico Johnson, he's up in Orlando right now. He also UCF alum, former Knight. He was like a senior freshman type of relationship with him and I. I was always around him. So right now he's coaching and training the top Central Florida athletes up there in Orlando, Florida. So he normally has mostly all the DBs and stuff of that nature. So he really got me into coaching. And another good friend of mine, childhood friend, DJ Killings, another guy, he played at UCF with me. I known him since fourth grade, though. We went to the same elementary. So, just talking with him and everything of that nature, right now, he started doing diversity fellowship programs right now. I think he was with the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders, and also the Oakland Raiders. He actually won the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Yeah, so, he was getting me into just listening to those guys and just how they talk coaching. And I just let me see how it goes. And then I had got in contact with Travis Fisher, one of my college coaches. One of my college coaches is talking to him about coaching and stuff like that. And he was like, man, yeah, it's a grind, but if you love it, you ain't even gonna care about the money no more. But it's it's fun when you're doing something what you love. Ain't nothing like waking up in the morning doing something that you love. You helping kids. He's giving kids scholarship, changing kids' situations. And stuff like that. And I just felt that's cool and that's real dope. That that you can actually reach a lot of individual kids. You can actually reach a lot of individuals and just help them be a better version of themselves, not just better football players, but better young men. And I felt like that's just what it's all about.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to get out for work when there's meaning in the work that you're doing and that you're making an impact and a change, and being able to help these kids who are the future and be able to mold them and lead them in the right direction. That has to be, a blessing to be able to do.
Yeah, that's a big blessing.
So with those mentorships, how did that turn into an opportunity with SFE? Because as we were talking a little bit earlier during the pre-production, and you said SFE is where you got your start. How did that happen?
Back in my high school days, I was part of SFE. So SFE been around for 15 plus years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I played for SFE. Coming up, where we had top athletes such as Sojourner Shelton. I think he was a cornerback at Wisconsin, but Rashad Robinson. Like, we had guys. So, we was all on that team playing for Coach Brett. Yeah, so I just came back home once UCF. When I was done, I just wanted to see, like, like I knew what my goal was. My goal was to be, if not, like, in the college world, like, just to grow, be a better version, and become like a, like a college. Like, I wanted to be like one of like the best college recruiters and coach at the same time with it. So I figured, what better way not to start that off where starting at a travel team like South Florida Express, where they help people, where it's not just 7-on-7. They actually Brett will actually, like, if he sees that you're ready and you're serious and everything, like, he'll do everything in his power to, like, to help you, whatever your wishes is with him, like, he'll make it, like, come true. Like, I know before me, like, one of my childhood friends, Guy Lemonaire, he was actually coaching with SFE as well. Now he's an grad assistant at Florida State. Assistant wide receiver coach at Florida State. So, it's pretty much, it's just helping growth within the program, within the brand, with SFE. So I just figured, okay, so if I know that I wanted to be that, what better way is that to show that, I could reach kids, not just locally, but nationally.
Yeah, and I mean, what better place to start than SFE? I mean, in your first year with them, you guys won nationals at OT7. Talk a little bit about that experience, because, I mean, for any coaches out there or staffs listening, if you need a winner, get Coach Dirt on your staff, because not only winning nationals at OT7 in his first year with SFE, he won a state championship with Miami Central in his first year in high school ball. So, I mean, back-to-back championships, coming off a championship in 7-on-7, and then your first year in high school ball, you're with Miami Central, and they win their 4th straight state championship, and then they beat fellow Buckeye Brandon Ennis in that game. So can you tell me a little bit about what both of those championship runs were like, and what a whirlwind that had to have been as a first-time coach going through 2 championship runs in a calendar year?
Yeah, that was crazy. So the first national run at OT7 in Las Vegas, I think it was Las Vegas last year. I wasn't with them. I wasn't with them on the trip with them, but I still, like, watched it and still, like, just got, like, the feedback and everything of that nature of the world. So man, for that, just to that was the first annual OT7 national tournament. It was good because it was good. It was a great feeling to become like the first champions, and you feel me, not just to dwell on it, but shout out to Low Pro, the winners of this OT7 championship. But I felt like that last year OT7, that team was special.
At what point in the season last year did you guys know that you had something special with that team?
Man, I think it was Pylon, Chicago, when I first seen them boys, because that's when I knew, like, oh yeah, these boys serious for real. Like, Pylon, Chicago, that's when, like, we turned it up. I mean, we turned it up before then, because we had Pylon Orlando. Like, I seen how it was. Like, I seen how everybody mindset was. Carnell Tates, the Lamar Seymours, the Brandon Ennis, like the Nathaniel Josephs. Like, I seen how everybody mindset was in Pylon Orlando. Like, cause we took a real loss at Battle Miami. So when we lost the Battle Miami, we like, everybody was like, oh, okay, like, next tournament, like, it's over with. We lost. Okay, next tournament. Pylon Orlando. Everybody had their game faces on. Nobody wanted to lose. Everybody was serious. We took everything. Paid attention to detail. We just took everything serious. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's when we just put it on everybody. We didn't care who it was, DEF CON or Miami Immortals, like, or whoever we played, Pylon Orlando, to Certified Dogs, 24K. We didn't care. We came to play, and we were just gonna put belt the ass on everybody.
Yeah, that team was special. I feel like that's going to be, you see some of those pictures of, like, Devin Booker at the U.S. national camps back when he was a kid, and you look at the whole picture, and it's just littered with NBA players. And I feel like when you look back at that OT7 national teams for that first SFE OT7 national team, you're going to see tons of NFL guys. I mean, you have studs like, you know, your 5-star established names like Carnell and Brandon. I mean, I think Ray's going to do big things at Miami. I think Lamar is going to do big things at Pitt. I mean, that team was loaded, and I feel like that's going to be a team that people look back on one day and say, I can't believe they had all of those kids on one roster.
We had a lot of talent. There was a lot of talent. Jeremiah Smith, Lil Mally, Malachi Tony. I call him Medici. Man, we had a lot, man. Hakeem Williams. There was a lot of guys.
So then, I mean, I kind of want to ask some similar questions when it comes to the run with Miami Central. I mean, they're coming off 3 state championships. You join that staff. I mean, obviously the expectations have to be through the roof with a program with that much storied success and a program that you're familiar with and played for. So at what point in that season did you think, oh, we're going to do this again? And did you guys know that you had something special?
I knew we had something special, like when we was doing like 7-on-7. So like right after the OT7 nationals, like, you know, I got right into it. I met one of my good friends, Tommy Schuler. You know, just letting him know, like, yo, like, you know, I'm real interested in coaching. You know, I felt like I showed great, you know, just assets to, like, you know, just the brand Miami Central, and I felt like that I could have been, you know, a great fit for the job. So, you know, Tommy Schuler, he's the wide receiver coach right now at Miami Central. So he kind of, like, you know, matched that, set the meeting up with me and Coach Jude, like pretty much just job interview. He set it up for me, and, you know, he vouched, and that's we've been here today. I knew them boys was special because one of my first like meeting them, like the coaching staff, just how everything transpires, how everything goes, just learning the system, learning the protocols, learning how everybody pay attention to detail, because, you know, that's what's important. I just seen how, like, it's a system that's just being ran, and I'm like, oh, okay, they run this thing like a D1 Power 5, like they run it like it's a SEC. So I remember when we had a 7-on-7 tournament, when we played, we actually played a lot of teams. It was Cam Harris, former Miami Hurricane running back. He had like a little 7-on-7 tournament just in the neighborhood with all the local teams, like local high schools. And we had messed around and played Chaminade in the 7-on-7. I think it's on YouTube. We played Chaminade in the 7-on-7, and yeah, it was a battle. And I just seen them kids grit and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, this team is special. Like, yeah, this team is special.
So,
then when we played IMG, and then when we played IMG, just coming out on that, beating them, I'm like, oh yeah.
It has to be tough seeing some of your former players at SFE and you have to stand on the opposite side of the sidelines because you're used to having them with you on your team. What's that like matching up with SFE alums and when you hit the Florida circuit and you have to see guys like Brandon and Carnell out there?
Yeah. No, I told them boys, I said, man, you know, it's all love. Like, you know, we SFE and that thing, but once come game time, boy.
When the pads come on, it's different.
Oh, goody. Oh, he dropped that pass, goody. Man, Carnell dropped like 3 touchdowns. That man dropped 3 touchdowns, wide open. I was like, whoo. I said, yeah, boy. Yeah, man, I don't know, the football gods wasn't with Tate that night when we played them. But hey, I'm glad they weren't with them. They was with us.
Yeah, we know they'll be with Carnell here in Columbus because I know that boy has been tearing it up in spring practice right now. I mean, every article is about Carnell, so I'm glad to hear that he's doing good in Columbus, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do for the Buckeyes this upcoming season. I want to ask you about some of the best that you've seen between these two teams and in your time with OT7, or not OT7, but 7-on-7. So in your time coaching, what is one of the best matchups you've seen, wide receiver, corner, or your top 3 battles that you've gotten to see in person just on this 7-on-7 circuit and playing at one of the highest levels in Florida high school football?
Okay, so I'll say one of the best matchups that I've seen 7-on-7 got to be this season. This season with JJ and Ellis Robinson. Yeah, them boys was getting after it. You know, that's even though it's 7-on-7, but them boys was out there playing like they was like helmets and shoulder pads. Like them boys was getting after it.
Are they talkers, or do they just go to business and line it up every snap?
Nah, them boys talkers. Them boys talkers. Like them boys talkers. They was getting after it. It was real chippy out there, even though for a 7-on-7 game. Like I said, them boys thought they had on like helmets and shoulder. Like I'm glad like that we ain't throwing like no quick little fire hitch to JJ, because he probably would have tried to square him up, get him a shoulder or something. I'm like, yeah, don't. Like, that's how I was getting out there. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, some people don't realize, like, I mean, the emotions are high in 7-on-7 and they don't have pads on, but man, when those games get late, those games start to get chippy, because at the end of the day, these are ballers. They're used to having pads on, so that instinct kicks in when the adrenaline gets going, and those games get chippy.
But thing got real chippy. I say that another matchup, I'm gonna say I think last season when we played Miami Immortals, and it was just real personal with Immortals, just with everybody, with Desmond Ricks and Brandon Ennis. Them boys was getting after it too. Them boys was saying a lot of words. They was saying a lot of stuff to each other. Damon Fagan, when he picked off Jaden Rashada, like in the game, like he talking crazy to whoever, like Fagan, my boy Fagan, man. He talking crazy to whoever, man. It was a lot of matchups. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, the guys that do the show with me, they know I'm a big Damon Fagan fan. I would watch those games and see the energy that he would bring, and I could tell that he was a talker. I'm disappointed that he's not a Buckeye, but I know that kid's going to do great things at NC State. We fumbled that one. But yeah, people that aren't familiar with that 7-on-7 circuit, man, the best 7-on-7 tournaments are when all of the Florida teams have to get together in one place. If it's Orlando, any local tournaments, I don't like OT7 Nationals is cool and everything. The regionals are dope, but anytime that there's a 7-on-7 in Florida and everybody pulls up, those are the chippiest. When you have Immortals there, when you have Raw there, when you have SFE there, I mean, those are all premier programs, and I mean, they go at it. They go at it because the title. I mean, shout out to Low Pro. They did their thing this year. I mean, they performed. There's great teams all over the country, but that 7-on-7 shit is different in Florida. It's different down there. So I wanted to transition to best hands. We can include Central guys too. I mean, I know Lamar's a crossover, but I know you guys had your fair share of great receivers at Central. So if there's someone at Central that's not an SFE alum that might take that crown, go ahead and throw them into any of these categories too.
Hands. I think my boy Force. I think my boy Lamar had the best hands. We call him Force.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last season, ain't nobody hands was that man made a crazy play in LA 7-on-7. Colin threw him the ball. Colin Hurst. Mm-hmm. That boy caught that thing like it was crazy. Like he jumped over Buddy and caught the thing like he pawned it easy.
Yeah, I ended up discovering Lamar one time because I'm new. This is the 7-on-7 scene. I'm hearing about SFE, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate. They may be Buckeye leans. I turn on the broadcast and all Destroying is talking about is Lamar Seymour and how this kid don't drop anything. He can't be stopped. So I'm like, I'm coming here to see Buckeye recruits, and Lamar Seymour is catching everything. And I mean, for those who don't know, I'm from Pittsburgh, so Lamar's up here in Pittsburgh, so I'm sure I'll get to see a couple of his games. So for him to have an SFE alum here locally is awesome to see. So that's funny that's who you have for best hands. How about fastest? Who's the fastest guy we've seen?
Oh, Ray.
Ray?
That ain't even close. Yeah. Everybody don't even try to race.
Everybody, it is that much of a. He's that much faster than everyone that everybody will concede it to Ray. They wouldn't even try to lie. Everybody's giving it to Ray.
Ray quicker than the mongoose, bro.
And then this is probably my favorite question: who's the best trash talker in SFE history in the 2 years that you've been there?
Man.
I know y'all all talk.
Trash talk. I say that boy, oh man, Sad Hawkins.
Sad Hawkins?
Yeah,
I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Bring that energy to the Buckeyes. I want to hear my safety talking that shit.
Yeah, I say that boy said. He said that boy a bug, man.
So we talked about the two big championship runs. We get to your second year with SFE. You guys suffer one of the bigger upsets in 7-on-7 history. I mean, it made waves on the timeline. It was all over YouTube. The loss to 17 seed SMSB at the Phoenix Regional, I believe. Can you just take me through that loss and what happened there? Because, I mean, after following a national championship season in high school, you had an OT7 national the previous year. SFE struggled a little bit this year by their standards. So you tell me a little bit about the struggles this year and what do you think happened there?
I don't know. I just felt like, we just wasn't on page. I felt like we wasn't on page with a lot of things. Just as a unit, as a whole coaching staff, as a whole just team, like we didn't really mesh well, just not trying to set no excuses, not trying to blame it on no kids or no nothing like that. Because me personally, I'll never blame a kid for nothing. I leave everything just on coaching.
So, can you talk about the difficulties of competing on a national stage and a national schedule with a national roster? Not all of these kids are on the South Florida Express are from South Florida. In the graphic, we have Bryce West in a South Florida Express shirt. So these kids are coming from all over the country to come play together. Talk about the challenges of bringing a team together like that to play after these not really being able to practice together.
So I'll say the main challenge was the preparation. I'll say that because, with preparation, that creates separation. So, if we can't prepare, how we're going to distinguish ourselves from the rest, that's why Low Pro's so freaking good, bro.
I mean, people are shocked to see a team out there with a 5'3" corner, going up against 5 stars. You know what I mean? Jeremiah's 6'4". You would think they would be able
5'3", every bit of 5'3". And but not just him, just everybody. So, man, I just say our preparation. I felt like we lacked the preparation, and with us lacking preparation, we wasn't able to separate ourselves from the rest.
With as much talent as there is in South Florida, do you think, you take the old school Miami approach, put a gate up around the city, you're going to still have one of the best teams in the country. Do you think a more local approach would benefit South Florida? If you guys would be able to have that continuity and a less national roster?
I think so. I felt like, because I feel like South Florida football is the best football, so I'm always on my home team. I also feel that way. I also feel like not having, I say the South Florida kids, and also having there's more teams now, so back in my day, SFE will be it's just SFE and who else, Florida Fires, and that's it. Then when Florida Fire was actually relevant, Calvin Ridley's, Devontae Phillips, Riley Ridley, they had guys dogs, like Lamar Jackson, all them boys played for Florida 5. So, not having like, yeah, bro. So now you got DEFCONs now, you got Raw, Immortals, Blast. Man, it's like, it's like 8 South Florida teams right now, and it's like 8 7-on-7 teams right now, in a 7-on-7 circuit in today's world. So it's not like it ain't gonna be easy, like this go run we had about what I think felt like this was our last loyal bunch. This was our last loyal bunch of the group with the loyal kid, but it ain't gonna be easy getting kids, just from South Florida and just that one nature. So because we're gonna be competing with the Raws, the DEFCONs, the Immortals. We're gonna be competing with a lot of people now for a lot of these top tier kids. So it's gonna be challenging. Can it be done? Yes. Is it possible? Absolutely. And I believe in Brett. I believe in Wimbro. I believe in Ricky, Sean, Rob, Martin, everybody that we could get the job done for next go season, or whoever is with us for the next go round when it's time to lace it up for 7-on-7.
Yeah, shout out to all those guys you mentioned, Brett and Ricky, the founders of SFE, Jay, our guy from Spaces, the social media director. He does a great job on their Instagram, so make sure you tap in with that SFE Instagram. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you a couple more questions. Best player you saw at OT7 not named Jeremiah Smith?
At OT7?
Yeah, at Nationals. Who was the best player that you saw not named Jeremiah Smith?
Oh, God. The best player I saw at OT7 not named Jeremiah Smith. Man, I get credit when it's due, bro. That boy Julian Sand made some throws, bro.
Yeah, I had to get on the timeline and make a couple apologies. I've had my fair share of jokes about Dylan Raiola, and I never want to admit that Alabama is doing great things, but Julian Sane is looking like a Himothy out there. He went to Elite 11 and performed. He took the MVP the last 2 days and the overall MVP. So the guy Julian Sane is out here doing tremendous things, and shout out to him and what he was able to do. And that just speaks to what you were saying about the talent acquisition down there in South Florida, with Raw having a quarterback like Julian this year to lead them to almost a national championship this year.
Yeah. Nah, man. Yeah, that boy made some tough throws, man. That boy made some real good throws. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I gave him a lot of shit too, because I remember like Battle Miami. Like, I don't think Battle Miami was like one of the strong tournaments. And I'm like, man, this ain't going to he out here cutting grass. I used to always say that. He throw the ball into the ground and it's short on the pass. I'm like, see, there you go out there, he cutting grass again. Man, that boy was dialing it up. But that boy made one hell of a throw to one of my guys. He's also at Miami Central, Antoine Coleman. He made a nice little corner. He made a nice little corner ball over Jason Mitchell, 6'4" corner. Nice on the right hash. He was on the right hash. They on the left side of the field, and it was a corner to the back of the pipeline. It was money.
If you want to see that throw, you can check it out on my timeline because I tweeted it out. That throw was ridiculous. So before we get out of here, I want to thank you again for taking the time to join us on Buckeye BS today and share this. The Buckeye Nation, they're SFE fans by association. We appreciate all the guys you send up here and all the things that you do for those kids down there in South Florida and nationally. You guys are doing great things. Before we get out of here, I want you to give us one name that you think Buckeye fans and the college football nation you think isn't on the radar, but you think is about to blow up. A kid that we need to be on the watch for.
That's easy. LaWayne McCoy.
And if you watch the 7-on-7 scene, you know who that is. He had one of the greatest catches I have ever seen. It was in a losing effort, and instead of celebrating the team that won, they played that catch over and over and over again. I mean, this kid can go up there and snag any ball that you put up in the air, and I'm not. Where's he committed right now? I believe he's committed somewhere.
He's committed to Florida State right now.
He's committed to Florida State, but Florida State better have them bags ready, because I know there's gonna be schools gonna be calling after he has his full year in pads this year, because that kid is incredible. What he did in 7-on-7 this year, I know it's gonna translate over into the regular season, and I think he's going to see a crazy rating bump. So that is a great choice there.
The insight, Ohio State is his dream school. So we'll see.
You hear that, Pantone? LaWayne McCoy wants to come be a Buckeye. So tap in.
And we play Chaminade. So I know Heartline and Ryan Day gonna come down to South Florida to watch that. So yeah, we're gonna see.
Well, I want to thank you again, and again, shout out to all the people around the South Florida Express program, Brett, Ricky, Jay, Brian Hartline, of course. He's quite familiar with the South Florida Express, Coach Key, all those guys doing a great job. Obviously, our guy, Coach Dirt, here showing up for the interview. But if people want to find you and get in touch with you, Coach Dirt, where can they find you at?
Just go on my Twitter, Coach Dirt. I'm on Twitter. I ain't hard to find. I'm like Dion.
Coach Dirt is not hard to find. So if you want to find him, tap in with Coach Dirt on Twitter at Coach Dirt. I appreciate you guys tuning in for a special edition of Buckeye BS here with Coach Dirt from the South Florida Express. Thank you guys again, and catch us every Sunday for Buckeye BS at 10 Eastern. Thanks again.